Representative Buck of Colorado for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Secretary, thank you for being here. A little different concern. Want to move away from Ukraine for just a moment if we can. I am concerned about the fentanyl that is coming to this country that is largely manufactured in China. Just a few statistics. Fiscal year 2021, Border Patrol seized 11,201 pounds of fentanyl at the southern border, which was more than double what they seized in fiscal year 2020 and 5 times what they seized in fiscal year 2019. To put that in perspective, the amount of fentanyl seized by Border Patrol in 2021 is enough to kill the entire U.S. population more than 7 times over. The leading cause of death in America of adults between the ages of 18 and 45 is fentanyl overdose. Recently in Colorado and Colorado Springs, we had 3 high school students die of fentanyl overdose, one actually collapsing in class from that use. It is terrible. I'm wondering if you have had conversations with Chinese leadership about the production of fentanyl and what those conversations, whether they are productive or not.
In short, yes to the conversations. Productive remains to be seen. First of all, can I just applaud your leadership on trying to deal with the opioid crisis that we have in this country. And I very much share your concerns about this, and in particular share the concerns about fentanyl that is originating in China and is making its way into the United States, including through Mexico. So 2 things. We've been working on this in 3 ways. The President has raised this directly with President Xi Jinping of China. Second, we've gotten some of the fentanyl precursors that were not on prohibited lists added to those lists so that we were able to get others to police this more effectively. Third, we're working with the Mexican government on seeing about it having the technology necessary to better detect efforts to smuggle fentanyl or precursors into the United States. We're working across all of those lines of effort, but to your point, it's very important that the Chinese government take action to do something effective about this, and it's something that we're on.
My understanding, Mr. Secretary, is there is not much of a fentanyl problem in China.
I believe that's correct.
And the Chinese government, I think we would all agree, is an authoritarian regime and knows just about everything its citizens are doing. And if fentanyl is coming into this country from China, they probably know about it. And I don't want to propose a conspiracy theory, but I do ask whether you believe that this is a long-term strategy by an adversary to undermine this country and the youth in this country. Drugs tear at the fabric of our country, particularly younger people. And it would not surprise me if an adversary like China had a strategy to introduce drugs into this country knowing that it would sap our strength.
I don't want to speculate about any strategies or not. All I can focus on is what's actually happening and what could be done about it. And there's no doubt in my mind that the Chinese government could act much more effectively in working to prevent the fentanyl from leaving China and getting eventually into the United States.
And why wouldn't they?
Good question.
I'm asking.
No, I don't. Again, nothing that I can speculate on. There may be economic motivations. There may be other motivations. They may claim that this is something that they can't deal with as effectively as we believe they can. All of those things are possible, but the bottom line is, like you, we want to see results, and we want to see concrete actions taken that result in fentanyl or precursors getting into the country.
A country like Colombia will allow American DEA agents and others in to allow our military to help train. I know I've been to Guatemala. I have seen our military, our Navy SEALs working with their Marines. I am assuming that China isn't quite as open to our military being in their country assisting.
I think that's a fair statement.
And again, it just raises the issue of why not. I appreciate your efforts on this, and anything we can do in Congress to help, we would greatly like to do that.
Thank you.
Will the gentleman yield? Will the gentleman yield?
Yes, I will.
Mr. Chairman, thanks. I just want to take a moment to both thank the gentleman from Colorado and thank the Secretary of State. Mr. Buck is right. This is a crisis that affects every community in our country. And in the case of my nephew, who died of accidental fentanyl ingestion, this is not a question of overdose. This is a question of actions taken, whether by the government, whether by drug dealers, the government in China, whether by drug dealers or others, to murder our kids. I'm grateful to you and to you.
I yield back.
Thank you both.